Hi, it's Melissa. Welcome to Messy Missy Creates. I'm going to flip my April journal. I know, right? It's not even the middle of May or the middle of next year. So, I still have not put April on the front cover or the inside cover, but I did put this piece of ribbon on it. If you watched any of my early videos about this journal, you know I kind of struggled with, I wanted this garden theme on here, but I struggled with these looking more like fall colors than spring colors. So I thought this kind of lightened it up. It kind of fit with that terracotta color, but it's more of a coral. So I thought it kind of lightened it up a little bit. So I put it on there. And nothing special, just a piece of ribbon, but it hides that seam where my tape meets my paper. So anyway, thought I would start, and I've got you scooted in just a hair, so I hope you can see. And so Monday the 1st, this was coming off of Easter weekend, Easter Sunday. So Easter was the 30th of March, is that right? 31st, I'm sorry. It's right here. And so anyway, I was coming off of that. I talked about needing a down day and just kind of chilled. Watched some Hallmark video or movies that I had recorded, and I was drawing some while I watched. I did these fabric houses that day. I think I did it that day. And I had been playing with some vintage fabric and thought it'd be fun. I wanted something to represent home because I stayed home that day. And so I made the journal with me for Easter video today on this day. And I finished up March, and I watered the garden, and it's been cool and dry. I planted peppers in the pepper bed, and I started listing the peppers that I planted. I need to go back and finish that. I see I didn't finish that. So I'm trying, instead of keeping a separate garden journal, I just incorporated it into this daily journal since it ends up in here anyway, because it ends up in here as things that I did for the day. So I thought it would be a good way for me to document and, you know, have a place I can look back, you know, next year if I want to. And anyway, so that was Monday the 1st. And Tuesday the 2nd. Monday and Tuesdays, unless something's different or I have an appointment or something, those are usually my home days. So I just wrote, I love these days when I can craft and garden or both. And I made 2 videos. One, making my April journal. And you know, this year I've been using Triscuit boxes all year. Actually, I started doing that last year. So I've probably been doing that for almost a full year now. And yeah, because I think my last year's April journal was still in a composition book, I think. So I think maybe I started doing these Triscuit boxes or cracker boxes in, maybe it was May of last year. I don't know. Anyway, I'll have to go back and look. So anyway, I was at home. I crafted garden, made 2 videos. Oh, I did a journal with me video as well, kind of a marathon catch-up type journal. And I got a late start, but I decided to make my own printables for April at the last minute. I love the way that they turned out. And these are them. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, I had to think for a second. Because I think I may have used a couple of them at the end of March too. No. Anyway, that's me arguing with myself. So, yeah, ask me who won. Anyway, I did them in black and white and multicolored. And I said, maybe I'll list them on Etsy. I did end up listing them on Etsy. This is my little app indication to let me know that I, worked in that app that day, my drawing app. And Wednesday, I worked the clinic today, finished most of my duties for this month. They will be adding duties since my current duties have decreased. I left a little early today, went by the feed store on the way home. I might as well work there. Oh, this is the day. Oops. Yeah, so they even ask me to assist customers sometimes. I love it though. And I saw these, they had these little chicks there, and I know these are dark colors because they had like a red heat lamp on them. But they're so cute. I don't know if you can see the little baby chicks. And this one wanted to come home with me. I just know she did. And I would love to have her one day very soon. I'm going to have chickens. So I just have to get a space ready for them. So anyway, there was a man in the store asking questions, and I answered some of them, and he asked about tomatoes. And I knew I had a bunch of them. Long story short, I showed him some. He got some there. And then when we got outside the store, I said, if you don't think this is too weird and you want to follow me home, I have some tomatoes I'll give you. And so anyway, I did wonder on the way home if it was a good idea. I don't know this man from Adam, but anyway, I showed him around my garden. I gave him a bunch of plants. He didn't kill me, and neither did my husband. Because the whole time I'm out there with him, I'm thinking, oh dear, somebody's going to drive by and they're going to call my husband and go, your wife's in the garden with some strange man. And anyway, and my in-laws ended up pulling up, and they were like, who's that? And anyway, but it all ended up okay. I realized about halfway through this that maybe that wasn't the smartest thing to do in this day and age. And I can't even tell you that I live in an area that, you know, something bad wouldn't happen. Of course, none of us can say that really, because you never know where bad things are going to happen. But anyway, it all worked out well. The man was very appreciative. He texted me, he texted me the other day and showed me the pictures of how well the tomatoes are all doing and the plants that I gave him. So it all worked out in the end. So the next day I worked in the garden. I potted tomatoes to get them ready to sell on Facebook. I used the solo cups, and I should have just used them to begin with. Up potted some flowers and herbs too. It was a heavy garden day. I went by the farmer's market on the way to a doctor's appointment. My cantaloupe, what did take, I ended up planting at the clinic, in the clinic garden, and forgot that I needed some, so I had to buy some. And some of it never really germinated that well, but anyway, you know, I had to buy plants, right? So I listed some of the plants for sale on Facebook. Michael leaves for Jordan in the morning early, get some sleep tonight. So my husband left about 4:30 that morning. He had a fishing tournament, and so he was gonna be gone that weekend. And I worked outside all day. It was very nice, not humid at all. It was cool. And my aunt and uncle came by this morning for plants. I had a great visit with her and some other people that I had known and then lost contact with when I became a homebody, or homebound, but I think of it as a homebody. And so, let's see, I cleaned out and planted a small flower bed by the greenhouse. I love having, I don't know if you can see this picture. It's from my backyard. I was just sitting there enjoying the day, and so I took a picture of my little peaceful oasis back here. This is my greenhouse, which is attached to a metal shed that we or a big shed that we have. It's just got galvanized tin on it, and it's got a red front. Anyway, but this was me sitting on the back porch. I was just looking at the greenhouse, and I love seeing all the plants in there. But this right here is a flower bed in front of it, and I plant flowers that grow several feet tall, so it makes it really pretty when they all bloom. But I just was enjoying my little oasis. And this is back here where we have all the bird feeders and the bird bath. And anyway, I used to forget to plant flowers in the backyard. I used to always focus on the front yard where other people could see. And then my husband's like, why don't you plant some in the backyard so that we can enjoy them? Because we hardly ever go out the front door. My friend came over that night, hence the pizza and the kid. And that's a kid out of a magazine, not one of her kids. But anyway, she came over, brought the kids over, her foster children. And we had pizza and talked. The kids built a fort under the table. They're so cute. They got tired and cuddly, and I taught them the pillow game. It's just a silly little game I remember my mom doing, but anyway, they loved it, and they were good and exhausted and fell right to sleep when they got home. So Anyway, so Saturday morning, I was still by myself. I had made plans with my sister and my aunt the day before to go meet them at some yard sales. So I thought I was going to do this with somebody. And they ended up backing out. And so I went to two that were just real close to my house. One was an estate sale, one was just a yard sale. It's the first time I've been in probably before all the COVID stuff, probably at least 4 or 5 years. I used to do it a lot because I used to repurpose stuff and remake stuff and repaint furniture and refinish furniture, things like that. In my old life, that was what I did. I used to have a store where I sold all the stuff. So, anyway, the estate sale especially was in the house. It was real crowded and it was hard to navigate, and still using my cane, and people, you know, they bump into you, knock the cane out from underneath you, and you're trying to carry something. So I could only get what I could carry in one hand, and I had to park so far away, but it just wasn't quite the experience that it used to be. And so anyway, I came home and pulled some more weeds, cleaned out another flower bed, and got it planted. And or maybe I just cleaned it out that day. Anyway, this is just stuff from where my husband stayed at the state park. That night, I was cutting out magazine images and doing fun things like that and crafting and whatever. And I had a great craft chat with Carrie at the Concrete Butterfly. I cut out magazine images and fussy cut stuff for my glue book while we chatted. And it feels good to get some of that fussy cutting done. I enjoyed my chat with her and getting to know her a little bit more. And so that was fun. That's a very thick page, by the way. So Sunday the 7th, we went to church this morning. We had a brunch party in our Sunday school class. It's nice to get to know all the ladies on a deeper level. Had great food. I went by myself. And I went by to see Miss Sue on the way home. I visited with her for about 2 hours. She gave me some old craft stuff. I didn't show you that yet, but anyway, maybe I will if I remember to. And anyway, my husband will be home around 5. Was taking advantage of the time that he was gone to spread out like on my living room floor. And I was sitting there just watching like videos or shows or something like that, and cutting out, you know, harvesting magazines and cutting out fussy cut images. And then I made a glue book video. So this was a napkin that we had in our party at church, and or our little Sunday school brunch. So I used it on the page as a background. So anyway, Monday, this says less Monday, more coffee. Yes. This is the day I planted the flowers in the back, the flower bed that I cleaned out. And I bought a couple of flowers in addition to my roses, and I planted zinnias. So I just had this magazine image that just showed a bench in the garden of all these flowers. And so that's how I, you know, imagined myself in the yard. It was very overcast this day, and it was pretty windy. But anyway, this was the eclipse day. And so, yeah, I cut out magazine images again, gathered all my images, sorted them, and I got them organized into these bins, my little baskets. Here's my glasses. I just tucked them into a pocket. And this was a goofy picture of me in my glasses. And if you tried to take a selfie with your glasses on, you know that you couldn't see through the glasses. And so anyway, it was kind of like, you know, kind of like a crapshoot, I guess is what you'd call it. Pardon my whatever there. But anyhow, this was a picture that a lady at his work took, a friend of ours. I couldn't get it, but this was our, this was the only, we were at 75% totality, I think. So we just had this little sliver, but I got to actually see it like 2 very brief moments because the cloud cover was so thick that, you know, we really couldn't see it. So, but it was just this weird yellow gold hue to the day, and it was just kind of neat. The animals all acted weird and stuff. I was trying to think if I'm looking ahead because I don't want to talk about something out of turn. I guess I didn't put them in here. My brother was in the 100% totality path up in Vermont, and he, yeah, my brother was in 100% and sent some cool pictures. I guess I didn't feel the need to include them. I probably should. He said it's, cool. I said, cool to hear the stories about the animals that got confused. He said something about, was it a groundhog or some kind of critter that, you know, birds underground or whatever, came out and kind of got caught in daylight. You know, all the animals that only, the nocturnal ones that come out at night, they were coming out to feed thinking it was nighttime, and then all of a sudden it got daylight again, and he said you could just see them like panic and scurry, like what happened, you know. So it was neat hearing those stories. And anyway, so Tuesday the 9th, I made apparently a couple videos, or a video. And these were the printables that I made for April, and I'm using them for May as well. I planted cantaloupe. It feels a little late, but hopefully it will be okay. We normally plant most everything in March, except we had kind of a late frost, and so some of the things I held off, and obviously I got rid of all my cantaloupe, so I had to go get some more. So anyway, but last year we got the best cantaloupe, and my daughter was here, I think in the end of June or whatever, and they were ripe. One was just perfectly ripe when she was here, and it was like this big around, and we cut into it, and she and I sat there. She was cutting it, and we were standing at the island in the kitchen, and I think before we knew it, we had eaten half of it, just cutting it. And, oh, they're so good. Things that are homegrown are so much better. They just, I mean, one, you know all the love you poured into it, but, you know, there is some truth to things being picked at the right time. And in the commercial industry, some things are picked so early because there's travel time. They have to ship them places. And whereas if you grow it in your backyard, you can pick it when it's perfectly ripe, you know. So I think there's a lot of truth to that. But anyway, my sister stopped by with her friend, and my in-laws have some shelves and things that they're trying to sell in their old business, which is next door to our house. And so they came by to look at some, and I had to put all the plants away for the storm coming up, because we were supposed to have a really bad storm the next day, and we did. It's amazing. They can predict it, and we have it, right? So the clinic was closed today. They had like a skeleton crew in there. Okay, so they have, it's run by like 95% volunteers, but they have like 5-ish maybe paid staff, like one in each department, and then a director. And so they closed down except for that skeleton crew, just to answer phones and reschedule patients and things like that. Because our bus system, our transportation, you know, our community transportation or public transit, whatever, had closed, all the buses and everything. Schools had closed, and anyway, we were supposed to have, you know, the possibility of tornadoes and things like that, which we ended up, we did have some 80-mile-an-hour gusts and lots of tornado warnings. The wind was just crazy. There was a tornado that hit about, I said 15 miles. It was actually more like 5 miles. It was about 15 minutes away. So it ended up being a great day to craft. I was trying to get laundry done just in case, you know, trying to get it done early just in case the power went out. And so, anyway, I got that done. I did my March flip through. So I did it on the 10th. Today is the 2nd or 3rd. 3rd. So I'm getting earlier. I'm a week ahead of last month. And last month, that was the first flip through I had done in a long time. So anyway, I just have this page that I didn't use, and that's okay. It's decorated enough. It doesn't have to be, you know, everything doesn't have to be fully decorated or filled up. Thursday the 11th, I filmed April collage calendar, you know, starting it. And that was me starting in my newer book. And if you want to just take a peek, see, I haven't finished April. but I've got a good bit of May filled in. And so, no, I'm sorry, this is April. I haven't, yeah, I hadn't done June, July, and March, January, February, June, July, and March, y'all, June, July, and March. I did one through the end of the year last year, but then I wanted to start in this new, have it all in one calendar journal or whatever for this year. And it took me a while to find it, and it took me a while to get started. So I do want to go back and catch up on January, February, March, not June, July, and March. So anyway, and then eventually I'm going to decorate this cover. And those are just fun to do. If you haven't tried it, you might watch some videos. I know that February and June, Lydia at February and June does one. She does it in the yearly, like all in one year, like I'm doing this year. Allison at AJ's Inspired Life, she does one in, she puts an extra page in her monthly journal, and that's how I did it last year. But this year I wanted to try having it separate, because I used to always have to think about an extra page in the journal for this, extra page for that. And so I wanted it all in one year, all in one book this time. So I'm going to see how I like that. But anyway, that's where I draw my inspiration from on this. So, and I find it rather fun. It's a good chance to plan your stickers. I mean, how much more fun could that be? So, I filmed that. I played in the craft room. I started packing up. Oh, we were leaving that day. Yeah, when he got off work. So I was like, why did I pack up my... Anyway, so I was playing in the craft room, and then I packed up my journal supplies and packed my clothes. You see the order of importance, right? Yeah, we have our priorities straight. And we're leaving when he gets off work. Had an appointment. Ran by the Dollar Tree to get some more baskets. I needed a few more baskets for my glue book images to have them all sorted. I have them sorted by color. Some things by color, some things by size. And then I have the fussy cut images by color or people, or, you know, so I was trying to separate out like words and people and then just random color stuff. So I needed a couple more baskets for that, and a couple more baskets for my like journal and collage, things like that. So maybe one day I'll try to show you. I've shown you glimpses of the baskets in videos randomly, you know, just here and there. But it's really hard to film because the baskets are wider than, you see my hands, they're out here. They're wider than the camera will allow. So, without getting me in the shot, and I really don't want to be in the shot. I mean, you know. Okay, so anyway, I finished packing. When he got home, we loaded the truck and the boat, and we headed out. We stopped by Whataburger in the town north of here. It's like the last stop before you cross the state line. And so we waited. Oh my God, it's supposed to be a fast food place. We waited for 45 minutes. So that really delayed our trip. And so it was very dark at this point. And there's a road after you pass that, right to get on the interstate from here, to go north. And it's this, it used to be this little 2-lane road, and now it's a little bit better, but it's real dark. It's just country, farmland, that sort of thing. And we hit something. And here we are, first time traveling with our new boat. And he got out. He thought we blew a tire. He's trying to look, trying to find a place to pull over in this farmland, you know. And anyway, the next day we realized, when we could see in the daylight, and we looked like down the side and underneath the truck and the boat, like the underside of it, and all along the door panels and the tires and everything, it apparently was a tube of silicone that we ran over. We have still been picking off silicone from the truck and the boat. So that was not in our plans, but at least it wasn't a blown tire or something like that. So anyway, but we left for Lay Lake. We have a tournament there Saturday, so we ended up leaving. I wanted to leave Thursday evening so that we could wake up there Friday morning. And it's just this little motel. We love it. The people are great. It's one of the few places, or the last places, that you can actually call and you speak to the same person at the front desk every time, or the same manager or whatever, and they know us. They remember us from time to time, you know, because we go up there several times a year, or he does anyway. I go up about twice a year. And we have our favorite room, and so we know the number. We give them the number or whatever, and we tell them, you know, is our room available? And they're like, oh yeah, come on up. And so, and then there's a Shoney's in the parking lot of this hotel, so you just have to walk to breakfast. They used to give you free breakfast with every night stay, like you would a free continental breakfast, but now they've changed it. On this trip, we found out they changed it to like 25% off, which is still fine. But we just enjoy it, and we don't, the two of us by ourselves, we don't like go out to eat a lot. So it was just nice to just sit and have conversation and have breakfast and coffee and whatever together. Because he leaves, the weekday mornings, he leaves by 6 o'clock in the morning. So if I want to get up and have coffee with him, I got to get up at like 5 or 5:30. And I do, but I usually am just getting up like a few minutes before he leaves, so I could see him in the morning. Anyway, that was a long story just to tell you we had breakfast at Shoney's. So anyway, we got the boat, and we put in at the dock closest to our favorite bank, you know, so we'd be near our spot. He caught a nice fish, pretty good one, and mine, I had a good one, and it got off at the boat, and it's almost like, you know, they get to flipping and flopping, and they get to the water, so you can see how big they are, and you know what they are, and you know how big they are. And they get to the boat, and he whacked his head against the side of the boat trying to get that hook out. And so he got off, and it's almost like they just, you know, like neener at you, you know, like ha, you know. So anyway, but we were just practice fishing this day. We saw the cutest geese, I'm assuming Mama and Daddy, I don't know. It might be Mama and Grandma, I don't know, Mom and her friend, I have no idea. But I assumed it to be Mom and Daddy, because one of them was very protective, and I don't know that much about geese, but anyway. One was very clearly watching us, because this picture right here of them, I hope you can see. These little fuzzy things right here were about 6 gosling, whatever they call them. Anyway, they were so cute, but this is like the edge of the water, and our boat's like right here. And so we're fishing. I stopped fishing just to watch the geese. And so, but this one right here was clearly watching us. And so this one was tending to the little ones, and they were all eating and stuff like that. But they were so cute. I'd hoped to see them jump in the water, but they didn't. I figured that they were probably only a week or 2 old. They still have that fuzz on them, that down or whatever they call that. They were still very fuzzy, and they did not look very old to me. But it's such a pretty place to fish. It was very windy today. It was hard to steer the boat and hard to fish and hard to do all the things because it was so windy, but it's still the most beautiful place to fish, or I think so anyway. This was the back of the Shoney's menu, and this was one of my printables, my printable notepads. I haven't listed this one yet, but I drew the sunflower and ended up making printable notepads at some point. I'll talk about that in a minute. I haven't listed this one on Etsy, but I meant to. I just started with 2 and then never did any more. But anyway, this is that little Shoney's bear. It's a little coloring page on the kids menu. So anyway, we came back to the hotel, or the motel, whatever it is, and showered, and then we went to see May May at May May Made It. This is near where where we stay is only about 10 minutes away from her brick and mortar store. And so we went there. We saw her and her husband and some of the crew. If you've ever watched them on YouTube, she's a paper crafter, primarily a card maker, but she does make some folios and other little crafty projects that are fun, like the little boxes and this thing right here. Ooh, you're gonna see all my dust. This little piece came off, but some of this is the stuff that she makes. I made this following one of her tutorials, And I got to re-glue this top piece on, or this front piece. Yeah, see my dust. I'm sorry. But it's like a little card. You can hold your cards, your envelopes, and tags and pins and things like that. And so she does a lot of that stuff too. So if you haven't ever watched her, she also designs and puts out her own stamp sets. And I really need to clean that out and actually use it. So yeah, if you haven't watched her, go watch her. And she has a ton of subscribers and viewers and followers. She does lives every week. They're just really great people, and I really like them. I like their values. I like what they stand for. I like what they do for the community. They have a card ministry, and all of her, because she figures all the cards that she makes, there's no way she could use them all herself. So she has her viewers, if they have extra cards or make extra cards for this card ministry. And then, like, when I go up there, I get a box of cards from her that are like encouragement or birthday cards or just thinking of you. And some of them are religious based. And I know that our church has a ministry where we go and visit people in their homes. You've heard me talk about that because I'm in it. That's how I met Miss Sue. And she was in a rehab, and so we went to go see her, my friend and I, and we took her cards. So I pass them from Maymay. I get them from Maymay, and then I pass them to all of our volunteers who go visit people. So these cards that it might have been made clear across the world or the country, and they got shipped to her, and then she disperses them, and they go to brighten somebody's day. And I just think that is worth supporting. Okay. There's my little spiel. Sorry. But I just think it's a great program. A great thing that she does. And anyway, so we went there. I got a stamp wheel. I got this chevron stencil. I showed you that in my haul. And just to give your journal a little more whatever, like you can draw it, and then like from the stencil you can do the lines, and then it was fun writing and following the stencil lines. So anyway, I got some other stuff too. I showed it to you in a haul. I can't think of what all it is right at the moment, but went back to the motel, and we had a couple hours. He worked on fishing poles, and I worked on my journal. This is just a picture of my setup in the room, and I'm watching some of y'all's videos and just catching up in my journal. And I took mainly just took my pens, and I took some clip art to cut out, which was great, having all that pre-cut. So then this was I gotta talk faster. This was the day that we fished, and we fished on Lady Lake. So I printed up this little map of where we were, and it was, it's been in the 70s here for a little while, 60s to 70s. Now it's in the 80s. But at this time, it had been, I had been in tank tops and shorts for a good month or so. And all of a sudden this day, and this is more north, it's a couple hours north of where we live. So, but it started off at 36 that morning, which when you've been in 70 something degree weather, that's a shock to your system. So we were all bundled up. Plus it was windy, and when you ride in a boat, it makes it feel colder anyway. And because it's dark when we blast off. We blast off 30 minutes before daylight, or before sunrise. So, but it started off cold. We were all bundled up, and I took pictures of us in our little goggles and our little get-ups. And, but it warmed up to, I think, the mid to high 70s by mid-morning. So that was a very drastic change. We went from all bundled up to t-shirt and shorts. And anyway, he caught a bunch of fish. It took me forever to catch a fish. I made a couple of these little flippy flaps. This was, I thought, a pretty cool picture. My husband, a silhouette. This is the bank that we like to fish, and this is across the lake from it, or across the river. And watching the sunrise right there is just absolutely gorgeous. And it just looks like it's on fire. I guess technically it kind of is. But this is an awful picture of me. My husband does not quite know how to take a picture. Well, and the I didn't help that. But anyway, here's a picture of my fish. It doesn't look that big, but anyway, we won this tournament, and I won big fish. My fish was almost 4 pounds, and I got a fund. I had my fish weight and the total creel. You know, we saved the 5 biggest fish per the tournament, and we weigh them in, and then we're catch and release. So then we weigh them, and then we release them. And anyway, I know we had over 15 pounds, so that averages about 3 pounds of fish, you know, because you just keep your best 5. Anyway, then we drove home, and we came home. We were so tired, but we had such a fun weekend. And he cleaned the boat. This is Sunday the 14th. He cleaned the boat, and it was kind of funny because he's like, you could come help me clean the boat. And I'm like, do you know what I have to do today? And he's like, what? And I said, taxes. He said, I'll clean the boat. So he clearly didn't want to help with taxes. So I didn't help him with the boat. Well, I did go out there and help him spot clean the carpet because, well, anyway, we spilled something. So, but anyway, he cleaned up the boat, and I worked on taxes. Got them done a day early. I was rather proud of myself. And then I put this here because I played with scanning in fabric. And so that I could play with more digital, you know, just to use them for digital projects. And this Monday the 15th, this was my first coneflower or echinacea. And I worked on my printable. I don't know that I've actually put this one in my Etsy shop. I put the bananas one, and I put the what's cooking one, but I don't think I ever went back and put this one in there. So I made this one that says have a great day and the happy faces, and then just the color. I love the colors on this, and it kind of has that retro vibe, you know. So anyway, I worked on printables. I got a couple of them listed on Etsy, and let's see if I can I'll show you in a minute which ones I have on Etsy. I made a new video, unpacked, and did a journal with me. I thought that I did a haul. New printables. Oh, craft haul and journal with me. Yes, I did a craft haul. Okay. So anyway, if you like these and you want, I will get them listed, but you can put in the comments that you would like one, you know, that you'd like for me to list them. I think I only list them for like $1 something, and you can print them off as many times. You know, once you have a printable, once you buy a digital, it downloads, and you can print it from here to whenever. You know, it's yours forever. So this day, Tuesday the 16th, I played with my jelly plate all day, y'all. I mean, I had the most fun. I did make a video. It wasn't a great video, but I had fun. It had been the first time I had worked on my jelly plate and that I had used my jelly plate in probably 3 years or so, and I really enjoyed it. It took me a minute to kind of get my technique back, or not that I've done it enough to have a technique, but to really figure out, because you got to think about the layers. And anyway, but I took a bunch of pictures of my roses. I told you about the story of the Peggy Martin. I did the video doing this page. And yeah, played with my jelly plate all day. And then I did some gardening later in the day. This is a picture of me. This is my hands with paint on it, like neon paint and soil. And it just made my heart happy because those are like my 2 favorite things. And so here's my different roses. This is Quietness. This is a Burgundy Ice. And this is the Peggy Martin. And this is a Echinacea. You know, you hear Echinacea like you take for colds and stuff. Well, it comes from a plant, but it's also called a coneflower. So anyway, I love that the flowers are all starting to bloom, and they're really the roses are just showing out, and it's beautiful. Wednesday the 17th, I worked at the clinic. It was one of the girls that I work with. It was one of her last day, or it was her last day. I'm going to miss her. She will be moving to Washington State. Allison, I need to tell you about her because she's coming your way. Anyway, I made a birthday card for my sister to give to her friend. She likes frogs. So I had this frog stamp and I colored it. Oh, I could have brought the card in here. She still hasn't picked it up yet. This is my Day Was Bananas notepad. This one is not with, this is just a banana sticker. This is the notepad. This one is listed in my Etsy shop. And like I said, they're only $1 something. And you can print them as many times. And you can even resize them if you want, if you know how to do that. The clinic was a bit crazy. One of the places that we refer patients to changed the way they want the referrals sent. It'll be good in the long run, but it created so much more work for me that day. I had to resubmit all of April's referrals, and so here we are the 17th of the month, and I had done almost all of them for the month, and I had to redo them. So it ended up being a bit of a bananas day. I didn't use this page. This is just kind of a sticker, and it just, so I could glue that down. I didn't even have to tip it in, but I didn't know how much I was going to write, so... You know, and I can always go back and glue the sides and make that a pocket if I want. That's the nice thing about these notepads is you can just glue it, tip them in, or you can glue them in and add, you know, add a pocket. But anyway, 18th, the Thursday, the 18th, the garden's really starting to take off. I've got a picture of my first peppers. I have tomatoes appearing. Had an appointment, went to one of the my favorite thrift stores. I found some great magazines. And I made this little pocket for some private journaling. I haven't done the journaling yet, but I wanted to add something to that day. So I just had this envelope that had these really pretty pansies. Looks like pansies and petunias, but maybe just pansies. And so I tipped that in. And I'll go back and add my journaling in there. So I don't guess I'll use that page. But anyway, I found some great magazines. Here's my little clip art for the magazines. And the thrift store clip art. And Friday the 19th, I got out early, out in the yard early, and we have a big flower bed, like the length of the house, or the length of about 3/4 of the house. And it's really deep, and so it was full of weeds. So I had to, you know, once a year I have to go in there at the beginning of the year and really clean it all out. And so it kicked my booty, but I got it done. I got it planted. I'm going to be so sore tomorrow. I did find an Easter egg in the weeds. I found this is just clip art that I printed off because that's about what it looked like trying to pull some of these weeds. And this is where I had my arms were all torn up from the roses because in this bed are some really tall rose bushes, and they're old, and they've gotten to about 8 feet tall because we didn't trim them this past year. And so trying to get underneath them to pull all these weeds and behind them, and so I ended up with boo-boos. But anyway, I found an Easter egg in the weeds. I had $1 in it from left over from our Easter. So this is the 19th, so that's a good almost 3 weeks from Easter. There's still 3 of them out in the yard somewhere, if we counted right. These are some of the magazines that I got from this trip to the thrift store, and it was like they were like travel magazines. So I did a travel magazine harvest. This was a picture of the Easter egg that I found in the weeds. I don't know how they missed it, but they did. And anyway, this day, about midday, I noticed that the freezer was open. And it's one of in our refrigerator that we got last year, the refrigerator's on top, and the drawer, it has the drawer freezer. And it was just open. It wasn't even all the way open. It just was open enough that you wouldn't really notice it. And then I stuck my hand in it, everything in it was thawed. Luckily, this is not the freezer that we have all of our meats and stuff in. It's like our immediate stash, you know what I mean? We have a big freezer, and then we fill it. So we didn't lose everything we had, but there was some of the meats and stuff and veggies, they were still cool or still cold, but they were thawing. And I know you're not supposed to refreeze stuff, so I cooked. I told my husband, because he apparently left it open the night before, because I hadn't been in it. And he had left it open from the night before, so it had been open all night. And then this was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon that I noticed it. So I called him and told him, we are having kind of like an odd smorgasbord dinner because I'm cooking everything that I can, and then we had to toss the rest. And it's painful tossing food these days. One, because either I grow it and we put a lot of time and effort into it and money, or groceries cost so much that the last thing you want to do is throw away food. So anyway, Saturday the 20th, he worked this day at a friend of his house, and his daughter has a horse arena, and she wanted to be able to ride at night. So they had gone out and put up these like 30-foot poles, and my husband's an electrical contractor. So anyway, he went and set the poles, and he took one of the guys that works for him, and as a help, you know, they went out and did it together and rented a lift, got the poles up. They got the trenching done to run all the line underground, and he got it all hooked up, and the breaker, the panel, everything. So he was up there all day. They had started on it like a week or two ago, but they got it finished this day. And he sent us a picture later that evening of the lights, just to make sure that they came on, because they're on like a photocell or whatever. So anyway, I was really sore and tired from pulling weeds yesterday. I chilled for a bit, did laundry, dishes, and then made a glue book video. I talked to my mother-in-law for a little while. So I just got this picture of a washing machine and laundry basket out of a magazine. I love using magazine images in my journal, because then I don't have to print something, you know, because the magazines, you already have them, right? It's kind of free. So anyway, Sunday the 21st, my husband had earaches. We didn't go to church, probably from being outside and in the wind all day. But I cleaned my craft space. I got my baskets organized. It feels great. You know, I had gotten some extra baskets like a week or so prior to this, and then I finally got to actually, you know, put stuff in them, and I got them all labeled. And anyway, this is the day I booked my flight to see my daughter, and I go next week. Actually, I leave in a few days, and it was my first time ever booking a flight. I have flown one time, but it was for work, so I didn't book the flight. I haven't flown since 1996, so yeah, I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited. So I printed off the what your carry-on and what your check bag, the dimensions and stuff like that, because I don't know any of that. I don't fly. So it's been so long, I don't know what all the rules are and whatever. So anyway, I gardened this morning, still planting, filmed a journal with me video. It's so much easier being organized. I mean, at least that stuff is organized, not the rest of it. Don't worry, it's not all organized. So anyway, that night we had a fishing meeting at church about the children's tournament the following Saturday. We went with a couple of the guys to dinner, out to Denny's for dinner after the meeting, and they're all such good people. We enjoy, I mean, we get together once a month and go to dinner with them and everything. I mean, we see them more than once a month, but we always go to dinner after the meetings. We actually had 2 meetings this month, because we had our fishing meeting and then our tournament, the children's tournament. Anyway, I love this page. I love the colors. I love this washi. I don't use it that often, but I should. And I just love that kind of teal and yellow and orange, and it's just, and the pictures, all my flowers, I watered. It's been so dry, but the flowers these are my green stalks. It's like a vertical gardening, so I've got flowers and vegetables and herbs in them. I have 3 of them that just have strawberries in them, but then I have these 2 that have flowers and herbs, and I do plant some other types of plants in there. This is my little baby cabbage. It's a mini cabbage. It's not going to get to a full size. I think it's supposed to get about this big, but I'm not sure. And it might not last that long because it's getting so hot so fast. So it might be a single serving cabbage, which is fine because my husband doesn't eat it. So I've got 3 of them. I'm excited about them. My daughter, after I see her, she's coming back here. So I'm kind of hoping that some of this stuff can wait to be picked when she's here. I made 2 videos today. One was the collage roll washi, or no, the adding machine tape, doing the collage roll. And I don't see what other video I made. Oh, because I don't have a picture of it. I started filming the journal I'm making for my daughter. I started filming that video. I started disassembling it. It's going to be a much bigger project. I'm going to try to have that where it comes out so I have videos out when I'm gone. And because I'm going to be gone for like a week and a half. So anyway, I mean, my husband's still going to be here, but I'm going to be gone. And anyway, it's going to be a much bigger project than I thought. So I think it's going to have 9 signatures. And you'll understand that when you see me disassembling it because of the way it's put together. Because I'm trying to keep the pages of the book in order, but I'm trying to put an extra page in between them. So something's not going to work. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. You'll see that next week. So anyway, or this week, depending on when this one airs. So this day, I worked the clinic most of the day. I worked till about 3:30 today, trying to get as much done as I can before I leave. I came home and worked in the garden a little bit. We just had a chill TV night. And, you know, we're still watching old Law and Orders. So, the 25th, Thursday, worked in my craft room and garden this morning. I had an appointment in town, and so I went to Small Cakes, which is a cupcake. Oh, they have the best wedding cake cupcakes. Anyway, and I went to Hobby Lobby and Joann's. I wanted paper for her journal. I wanted to get paper for my maid to make my maid journal. And it's getting easier. I walked in Hobby Lobby and Joann's in the same day. It's getting much easier to push a buggy. We had that conversation in one of the last videos. Do you call it a buggy or do you call it a shopping cart? In the South, I think it's a Southern thing. We call it a buggy. And I got airplane stickers, vacation stickers, neon paints, and paper from a maid journal and paper from Megan's journal. And I made a craft haul video. So that posted, it's only been, I think that was just earlier this week. And then I still haven't written this. Oh, this is the collage roll pocket that I had made. And so I used that. I had used, when I made it, I made these tabs. So I used one here. I really like the colors on that. See, it just turns out, I did doodle on it a little bit with my Posca pen. But this one was just the packaging top off of the fine tip glue applicator things I got. So Friday the 26th, cleaning up the spare room because my daughter's coming back with me. She's driving me. I'm flying up there, but she's driving me back, and then she's going to stay for a few days or a week or something like that. So anyway, I had a bunch of stuff on the bed that I was sorting through, and luckily most of it was like either empty baskets or bins and stuff to get rid of. So getting ready for her to come. I crafted a bit. It felt great just to play. I made the Gluedex video on this day, collaging on Rolodex cards. I like the magazine images on the Rolodex cards. I really like the way they turned out. I played with all the neon paints on the gel plate, and I got to get the gel plate cleaned up soon. So 27th, Saturday, we had breakfast with the fishing club. This was the day we had our children's fishing tournament. We meet for breakfast at Waffle House. I want to put a little Waffle House logo right here. Then we met and got set up for the tournament. It was a great day with the kids. The little girls have my heart. Some of them are so cute, and they won. And we came home, we took a nap, and worked in the craft room sorting more papers and putting them in their baskets. Had a chill evening, TV night. We're still watching old Law and Orders. Hold on just a second. I think my husband just came home for lunch, so I was shutting the door. Almost done. 28th. We went to Sunday school or church. We retired from yesterday. We're studying Joshua, doing the Be Strong series, or the book Be Strong. I think that's what it's called. We've done Be Complete, Be Strong, Be something. Anyway, came home, worked in the craft room, and cleaned off the desk. And, I put up my new shelf in front of me. I took a picture of it. It looks messy from the picture, but it's actually, I haven't like really organized it, but this is where I sit to film. And this is where the camera holder and the lights come off the wall. And it fit perfectly right in front of the desk right here. And so it gives me some height so that I don't have to have so much stuff right around me. So it's pretty cool. And except I didn't want to mess up my clean space. But anyway, I did catch up in my journal a bit. And these are the first green beans. I noticed the first green beans out there today on the trellis. Monday the 29th. I stayed home today. I love these days. I got to garden and craft. Those are my favorite days, by the way. I made my May journal and videoed part 1 and I videoed part 1 and part 2. It was a 2-part thing. I'm making it junk journal style this month. This pepper is a giant Marconi. You can see how big they are. I mean, in my hand, they're even bigger now. Like if I were to hold it, this much would stick up and this much would stick out. I used this Here's the Plan Now Later one day. But anyway, this was the pictures from my part 1, part 2, and then this was just a picture of my journal when it was finished. Let's see. Can't believe we have peppers already. They usually don't come in until, it seems like a little later in May or whatever, but anyway, we have them. I got the last bed planted today. That makes 3 beds of tomatoes. I didn't plan to have that many, but I had so many extras. I just used, this was the packaging from washi tape. I used that as a tab. And this is the last day. Okay, so I shorted myself a page. I think what happened is because it was 30 days. I didn't explain this in the video. I said I was going to. If you watched the making the journal, I think that was the video. I said something about it. No, it was the video, the journal with me that I did to finishing up April. That's what it was. That was when I realized that I had shorted myself some pages. So I think because I said 15 pages would make 30 days, but the problem is I think because you have half a page here and half a page here, they're not together. So it doesn't really, you would have had to have added in that extra page, I guess. I don't know. It worked out though, because what I did is I just took a regular half a sheet of paper that I already had somewhere. It still had marker on it. And I just tipped it in. It was a little hard to tip in back here because this hump was getting so big. And I didn't want to cover up this washi tape or the back cover. So I just used clear tape, and it was a little tricky getting it in. I just kind of had to mush it in and then covered the front with washi. And anyway, I had a telehealth appointment that morning. I stayed home. He did prescribe something for me when flying for my claustrophobia. I'm so relieved. I made collards today. That's what this is for, because this is the seasoning I use. I filmed 2 videos. Oh, I still need to pick a picture of the one video. It rained all day. It was just this steady rain. We did have, during the video, we had a couple of weather alerts, like emergency alerts. And so you can actually hear them in the video. And so, but it was just really windy and really just a bad storm. So, we were fine. And, one of the videos I filmed was my collage calendar video. And I really love this calendar setup. And it was just a really good day. So, I had tipped this in thinking I was going to need more space and more writing. Unless I can think of something else to write. I mean, I'll put the picture of that one video, and this kind of matched that back cover a little bit, and so I'm not going to worry about it. It's just a notepad that I backed with a piece of cardstock, And so I'm not that worried about it. If it's blank, it's blank. So that is all of April. And, ooh, just in the nick of time. So I better say goodbye quickly. I appreciate you being here. I hope you're having a great day. Bye.